Very good. Okay, doctor, what is the next question? Can you repeat? Be very specific. Effect of drugs on enlightenment.
And then our rishis kind of experimented with it, some herbals and marijuana, I mean, rishis, ganja, and then we talk about some devatas doing that. And then in the modern things, there are some psychedelic drugs which have been used by the hippie generation, and even recently South American ayahuasca tradition.
So, doctor being doctor, he asked me, he wants to find a quicker way. Enlightenment, some medicine. Some medicines, some drugs can give him enlightenment.
I know it is futile, but just
he is asking, there are many drugs which are there. There is called Aishka. What is it called? Ayahuasca.
some ritual, I think. I know.
Of ayahuasca. That's ayahuasca is the modern version of a drug, a hallucination will give some sort of altered state of reality. Okay. So we have to understand the enlightenment is not an altered state of consciousness. Enlightenment is a natural state of consciousness. So, right? Enlightenment is a natural state of consciousness, not an enlightenment, it's an altered state of consciousness. To give an altered state of consciousness, if you drink a little bit of alcohol, your consciousness will be altered. You may feel that you are floating in heaven also. It is not. There are several altered states of consciousness. It can be through drugs, or somebody goes through a death experience. He feels he has gone to heaven. Okay. And some yogis are there. They claim that I have done an astral travel. Some yogis are there. I have a cosmic vision. Okay. Cosmic vision, I have become one with God. The liberation is none of this. These are thrilling. These are good experiences, but they're not liberation at all. Liberation is what you are here and now. It's not even tomorrow. What you are today, now and here is liberation, mukti. It cannot be got by drugs. It cannot be got by meditation. It cannot be got by any altered state of consciousness. There's a very wrong notion in spiritual circle that altered state of consciousness is enlightenment. In such a altered state of consciousness, I heard people go to some South America, I think. They take a drug called Ayushkata. Right? Ayushkata? Ayahuasca or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So in earlier days, there used to be people who take drugs called LSD. There are so many drugs, it will alter the mind. Definitely, when chemicals go into the brain, some alteration happens and it gives a sort of altered state of mind. Alternate realities. These don't have any relevance at all. So we have heard Devatas used to do drink called Surapana. Somapana. Right? Somapana is called Surapana. Right? Somapana they used to do. And they think that Somapana is a drug or a medicinal plant available in Himalayas. So far, nobody has found that Soma drug. Okay. And Rishis used to do Somapana. Take some drugs, ganja or something. None of this is reality. This is because inner reality is stored in the external form. Sufis you have heard. Sufis were persecuted a lot. They are being persecuted by their belief system. So then They started telling spiritual truths in the form of love stories. A love between boy and girl. The love between boy and girl is a way to communicate them the relationship between the devotee and divine. It has nothing to do with love relationship. Then joy of God relation, they started in terms of liquor, Madira. Because there's a coded language by which they wanted to communicate. If they tell about God relation, they are being persecuted. So they used a coded language. The joy of God relation, they said liquor, Madira. The love between the boy and love between the God and the devotee, they call us love between boy and girl. So they develop a coded language to communicate spiritual truths. Human mind requires a coded language for communicating truth, especially the truth has to be communicated from thousands of years. People speak of Devatas drank Amrita also. Okay. So we think that Devatas are some beings. So Devatas are fond of Apsara dance. We think that today club dancers are like that. Devatas also see Apsaras dancing. So we have imagination, a place where heaven, where there a lot of dance and music is going on. Without understanding what Devata is a consciousness. I'm able to see through my eyes because eyes are conscious. I am an individual. My eyes are conscious. Ability to see through my eyes is not my special ability. It's a universal ability. So the consciousness of the eyes is not individual, it's universal. So what is universal? The earlier people called it Devata. You also can see, a doggy also can see, my animals also can see. They're called Chakshu Devata. So Devata is the consciousness in you. They are not special things. So Indra is fond of dance of Apsaras. Okay. Right? Indra is the king. Indra comes from the word Indriya. Indriya means sense organs, master of sense organs. It's not in my mind. He is the ruler of all he is the consciousness present in all beings. That's why he's Indra. He's ruling all minds, the consciousness. So that way, Devata word is misunderstood. Devata means your consciousness. The power of consciousness is called Devata. The power of ear is called Chakshu. This thing, what is that term? Devata of the ear. Vak Devata. The power of consciousness of tongue is called Vak Devata. So like the Devatas are there within your body. Sanatana Dharma says Devatas are within your body. Through eyes. Tell me how many times you have seen Apsaras with your eyes? Because Chakshu Devata is seeing that, Devata. Agni Devata is speaking through your tongue. I mean, are they involved in some Apsara dance or something? So what it means is, our sense organs and the mind, Indriya, get attracted by the world, objects related to the world, Maya. Then Devatas fall. That's called dance of Apsaras in that sense. And then when they move to the God, they get powered. How the Devatas move to the God, move towards God? They need a Devata, captain of Devatas. What we call as Senadipati, commander-in-chief. The commander-in-chief of Devata is called Subramanya, Muruga. The weapon of Muruga is called veil. The veil is nothing but a spinal cord. So when the consciousness arises in spinal cord and rises up, the chief of Devatas comes in, Subramanya. Otherwise, Devatas are dethroned by Asuras. Asuras means tendencies which will take them to outer world. Then Devatas are engaged in dance, music. Dance and music is not physical. What is related to outer world? Okay. So when the Subramanya, the Kundalini awakens, Subramanya, if you see, Muruga, always symbolized by serpent. If you go to a place called Subramanya in Karnataka, then Subramanya is represented by serpent. Serpent is the Kundalini power. When the Kundalini power gets awakened in chakras, Shanmuga means six-faced, six consciousness awakens in us. They are called Devatas. Otherwise, all these devatas are, all this, our body is overtaken by asuras, tamasic properties. So devata guna gets awakened. The kundalini reaches sahasrara at this place. So then there's a chakra called bindu chakra here, right at the back. Early days they used to put a ponytail here, juttu. So bindu chakra secretes a liquid called amrita. Okay. So this secretion devatas used to drink. Devatas means our consciousness. It's not physical drinking. So we become rejuvenated. Consciousness become rejuvenated. Otherwise, they are following asuras. Then somapana. Somapana means, soma means moon. Moon gives a liquid. The moon in our mind is called soma chakra. There's a chakra, there's a center, energy center called soma chakra. That's why Shiva is called Soma Shekara. Moon is in the head. He is also called Chandra Mauri. He carries the moon. Soma means mind. Liquid of the mind, devatas drink. They are joyful. What is the liquid of the mind? When you have devotion, real devotion, your mind will be filled with joy. It's much greater than any liquor. Devatas do somapana. Devatas enjoy somapana. Somapana means the what you call as liquid from the mind. Liquid from the mind is the devotion. The devotion creates so many beautiful hormones in our body. That is called somapana. It is a great drug. So any drug, chemical drug, LSD, Ayushkata, it will alter your state of consciousness. When it alters your state of consciousness, after you come back, mind will be completely destroyed. You will be destroyed. Whereas devotion purifies you. Chitta Shuddhi. Devatas means consciousness in our body, they drink somapana, liquid of the mind. Liquid of the mind melts in devotion. That liquid is somapana. Because soma or moon represents mind. The kundalini gets awakened. There's a liquid secreted from the brain, bindu chakra. That's called amrita. So that amrita rejuvenates devatas. Now, where is devatas drinking liquor? These are all symbolically told. The symbolism becomes reality. Reality becomes symbol. That's the problem for us. So then there are literatures in literature. Some devatas eat gomamsa. Okay. So you also eat cow. That gomamsa is not a cow. Gomamsa is when you take your tongue inside into a kechari mudra, that's called mamsa. So when kechari mudra goes inside, secret from the brain will be released called amrita. Then the energy movement in the spinal cord is called samudra mantana. Devatas and asuras. So when you tell something in a symbolic language, people confuse symbol with the reality. It's a danger. Devatas don't drink liquor. Devatas don't take drugs. Devatas take drink of devotion, somapana. Devatas drink amrita coming out of yoga, yoga amrita coming from samudra mantana. So then some people in Himalayas, they take ganja or a drug. First of all, please understand that enlightenment is not any unnatural state. Enlightenment is not an altered state. Those who don't know enlightenment about enlightenment, they do all these tricks, and in the process, they destroy their life. Drugs. No doubt, when you take the drugs, some altered reality appears, something appears. They are all imaginations, hallucinations produced in a beautiful way. You may see gods, you may see demons, you may see apsaras, but none of that is real. But reality is not an altered state of consciousness. Reality is what you are today, now, and here. Then why people take ganja and drugs? Because ignorance about spiritual life. People think spirituality means taking the spirit. Liquor. Spirit and spirituality has no relationship. Does it answer your question? So, don't be under any hope or illusion that one day I'll give injection and get enlightenment. Not possible. Enlightenment process of our vasanas and samskaras, you have to get it up and realize, who am I? It is here and now. You are already liberated. Find out that. It's a sajasthiti, natural state. It's not an unnatural state. Oh, enlightenment, you have to keep your eyes closed for so many times, 20 hours. No. It's what you are today, now, through self-enquiry. That's why Ramana Maharshi says, inquire who you are and be still. Maniru. Any questions from anybody? Doctor? Anybody on Zoom has a question? Give up hopes that one day some drug will be there for enlightenment. Enlightenment drug is not there. Enlightenment drug is to realize the truth, Atma. I've seen people who are in search of enlightenment. I have come to me, some of the people who have come to me, I have come in close contact with people. In search of enlightenment, liberation, they have gone to drugs. They see, when they take the drugs, some beautiful thing appears, hallucination, mind-blowing. Okay? But the life is becomes miserable. It will distort the mind. They'll not be able to make a day-to-day living. On the contrary, enlightened person has a beautiful life. It's called Jivan Mukta. And Jivan Mukti is only possible with the Atma Dhyana, not through drugs. Self-realization, selfless service. So we have heard of many other yogis also. There are people, our spiritual literature is full of miracles, some visions. Okay. Don't be carried away by that. What happens is, many of the people in the hope of spiritual life take a secluded life, away from human beings, some cave. When you go to seclusion, the mind starts distorting. It starts creating hallucinations. I'm not speaking of all the people, some people, right? And they start telling something which is actually hallucination. And for us, it looks so great. So for our freedom fighters, to trouble our Indian freedom fighters, they used to put them in solitary cell. Means people put them in a place where nobody can talk to them. The solitary cell will distort their mind. They'll start seeing hallucination. They start talking to people. So what will happen if you're not mature enough, ekanta, then if you go to ekanta, mind starts getting distorted and starts seeing some visions. That's exactly what happened to a king called Kaushika Rishi. Kaushika Rishi wanted to get enlightenment. He started meditating and he saw apsara, imagination, hallucination. It starts becoming real also. And Dhruva, a Banga boy, started meditating. He saw demons, asuras. So these are all mental projections. So mental projections appear to be real. It's like a hallucination. Drugs also induce hallucination. Be careful of them. See, what happens is Atma Dhyana is not got in a mountain. It's not got in a cave. It is not got anywhere. It is through self-enquiry. Who am I? Atma Vichara. If we live our life, Atmano Mokshatam Jagaditaya, wherever you are, integrate spirituality in our life, we'll have a beautiful life. That's called moksha. Moksha is not away from your life. So any words in spirituality can be misinterpreted. Spiritual life is ekanta. You have to go to ekanta. Ekanta means a secluded place. No doubt secluded place is good. So I want to go to a secluded place. It's a beautiful place. There's nobody. I want to go to a secluded place. The meaning is misunderstood. Eka anta means one end is required in your life. Many thoughts have to become one, and one thought has to be no thought. Many thoughts are dependent on one thought called I thought. Find out what I thought is. I thought will disappear. That's called ekanta. It's not in a cave. It's not in Himalaya. It's not in a beautiful resort. Spiritual teachings can be distorted, misunderstood if you don't understand real meaning of spiritual teaching. Any questions, doctor? Anybody on the Zoom has a question about drugs and enlightenment? So what they say, Yoga Sutra says, some of the siddhis or miraculous powers can be obtained through drugs. What they say is, yogis get some siddhis. If you read literature of yogis, there are a lot of siddhis. Patanjali Maharshi mentions siddhi means powers, miraculous powers, visions. Patanjali Maharshi speaks of Ashta Siddhis, 8 types of Siddhis. And he tells Anima, Lagima, Garima, various types of Siddhis. It's called Yoga Siddhi. Doing sadhana, you can get it. Then he also says some of these Siddhis can be obtained through drugs. Some of these Siddhis come to people by natural birth. Then he tells all these things. Then he tells a word of caution. I am telling all this because do not get attracted by this. Drop these Siddhis and realize your true nature. Siddhis in the literature is mentioned to make you, caution you, don't get trapped by them. Not because you have to get attracted. But what happens is when you read spiritual literature, we start getting attracted by that. Simple Atma Dhnana. Who am I? Self-enquiry, selfless service. Atma Mokshatam, Jagataya. Only a real solution. Any follow-up questions are there? Otherwise, we can close this question on drugs. Of course, what happens is there are some practitioners, shamans, and other practitioners in some countries, right? Some countries, there are special practices. They take some drugs and they are able to get a vision and they're able to tell certain things like astrology, foretelling, telling the future and all. Some of these are possible. Siddhi is possible. But Siddhi is not realization. Some altered state of consciousness, you can see some things which you cannot say in day-to-day life. But that's not realization. That's all in the domain of Maya only. There are people called shamans. I think in South Africa or South America. They take some drugs and then they are able to see the future, tell something like astrology. That fascinates people. Some drugs you take, you feel like you're going to heaven, sometimes hell also. These are mind altering. In altered state of mind, you can see some things which are not possible, not visible normally. These are called siddhis. They have no value in spiritual life. They won't help you. In fact, they'll be hindrance. That's why Patanjali Maharshi says, be careful about siddhis. Shiva and Shiva Sutra says, siddhis may develop, but drop them if you want to get enlightened. Is it clear? Can you stop this recording? Oh yeah. Stop. Okay. End kar. Right. So can you close discussion, doctor? Okay, we'll close for today. Hari Om, everybody.